Welcome back. We are coming to you live from the Results Operations Centre in the city of Tshwane, and joining me on the line right now is former councillor Susan Stewart for Johannesburg Ward 82, and she's going to be giving us some insight on what goes into being a ward councillor and how you can prepare for it in case you are thinking of being the next ward councillor in the next local government elections. A good day, Susan, and thank you for joining me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for joining me. So, first of all, what makes a good counselor?
I think passion is one. You have to have passion for people. I think and be vested in the issues that you're dealing with, where people's lives are being affected. I think you need to be very passionate. I think you also need to have a understanding of politics and how the political system operates.
All right, so it's not just an easy fix where you jump into it and all of a sudden, boom, your ward council. You have to have an understanding. Now, speaking about understanding, does one need a special education or qualifications to become a ward councillor?
I don't think that you need a special education to become a ward councillor, but I certainly think that you need to be interested in politics. You need to understand the basics of how the system works, what it means when you have the support of people and actually have their votes, and how you're going to translate that into the work that you do daily. I think that is important. I don't think that you need to have a special degree specifically to become a ward councillor, but I think you definitely need to have the passion and drive to be able to drive the issues that people bring to your attention on a day-to-day basis.
What are the roles and responsibility of a ward councillor?
A ward councillor represents the constituents within the area of responsibility. So within a ward, of course, dealing daily with issues, service delivery related issues, also making sure that you represent your constituents in the council when issues are brought up, or also to drive policy related issues, to debate those issues, to make sure that what the city is implementing on the ground is actually what the people in your constituency are wanting and needing. In a democratic system, it's government on behalf of the people. So your people that you are representing inform basically the issues that you would drive. So it will differ from ward to ward, and every ward is different in its dynamics. So you have to have a clear understanding of the constituency that you're serving, so that you make sure that you are actually implementing things that they want and need.
So basically, you need to know your community so that you're able to serve them well. How can the community ensure that the ward councillors are doing their jobs and hold them accountable?
Well, if they're reporting issues to a ward councillor and the councillor, is not fundamentally responsible for the service delivery implementation. Service delivery should be happening daily by the city itself, the administrative body of the city. But there will be issues that they will miss and that's not being reported to them. It will come then to you as a ward councillor, and you need to ensure that you follow up with your constituents and keep them informed as to what's going on with whatever issue that they may bring to your attention. So I think it takes the involvement of the community and a relationship with the councillor and involvement with the council as well to be able to bring things to the city's attention that needs to be driven through the city's administrative arm. So I think it has to be a symbiotic relationship in that regard. And if a council is not performing their work, they can be reported to the speaker of the council, who then has to investigate such allegation and then take the matter forward.
In some communities, that people torched councillor homes because they were unhappy with the service delivery, etc. So in situations like that, how do we handle those situations? I mean, you try to tell people that you're not fully responsible for what is happening, but they're still unhappy about their service delivery?
I think it's important for our citizens to become more politically educated. I think it's important. I find in South African politics, our constituents, unfortunately, are not understanding the political system. And therefore, they will do things like torture councillors' house. But I think that that shouldn't be happening because a councillor is not responsible for the administrative part of the city. The implementation of service delivery is not the mandate of a councillor. A councillor is a liaison between the city and its people. But the councillor can't be held accountable for service delivery not taking place in a community. That should be placed squarely at the feet of the administrative and ruling party of that municipality. So in Johannesburg, the Joburg municipality is under the rule of the ANC government administratively, and so they should be held to account for non-service delivery. It's not a councillor's mandate, and it's also not a councillor's responsibility. And it's not the councillor can't be held accountable for non-service delivery. That has to be taken to the door where it belongs, and that would be the Joburg municipality in this instance, if we are talking about Johannesburg. Unfortunately, I find that our constituents, our people on the ground, don't understand these things. And it's not, I don't think, I mean, me as a councillor, I've communicated it over and over and over again, but I think it's what people don't want to hear. They don't want to hear that you can't actually help them with that particular issue. And then they will be torching your house and things like that, which shouldn't be happening. Our people need to start becoming politically educated. And I think even our media will play a big role in that, in making sure that our people actually understand what's going on, as well as political parties. We need to start educating people to understand the various roles that we play within the administrative or within the city itself. But councillors shouldn't be held accountable for service delivery directly, no.
And I think also political parties and members should note that, when you get into politics, you're getting there for a reason, and that is to serve the people. And if you're going to be doing it for your own reasons, you should be able to deal with the grievances of the people. Now, how does the relationship between a local councillor and provincial and national government work?
Well, intergovernmental relationships seem to be a very huge problem in South African politics as well, unfortunately. Because when you have a situation where a municipality is run, let's say, by a certain political party, and then provincially you're under a different political party because they are maybe, like in this case now, let's just say the DA has got a municipality, and let's say the Western Cape, let's take that because that's a real life example. But nationally, the ANC is still in control of things. It makes it very difficult when you're working from different political parties to be able to get that intergovernmental relationship going and to actually serve the people in that regard. So intergovernmental relationships continues to be a problem, I believe, in the political arena that we are in at the moment, and that is a problem that needs to be resolved going forward. However, it would have been a case where locally you could report something provincially, and that it should be taken up by province and to run with it if it's under their mandate. For example, SAPS. The SAPS doesn't fall under local government, it falls under provincial government. But local councillors find it very difficult when the people who's working in SAPS will tell you, we don't work under you. So to be able to get them to do the crime prevention that they should be doing in our local communities becomes a little bit difficult. But I think councillors need to be forming those relationships with the people in the provincial spheres as well as national government to try and mitigate that. But it's very difficult when you're working from opposition benches. So it continues to be a problem, I believe, in the system that we are currently in at this point.
So, Susan, what is your advice to people going out to vote today?
I think it is very important for our people, with our residents, our people who live on our soil, all South Africans out there, to be very, very careful, think very carefully about where you make your mark today, and realize that it's going to affect your everyday to day life. If you do not, and I want to tell people out there, please, you need to start getting involved politically, because politics governs every aspect of your life. It governs everything that you do. It governs where your children go to school, how much you pay for school fees, how much you pay for taxes. It governs every aspect of your day-to-day life. So don't see it as a thing I'm just doing for the sake of doing. You need to understand that if you do not vote, and I find, unfortunately, a lot of our people are not even registered to vote. That is very sad for me, because it tells me that people are not vested in their own livelihood and not vested in their own lives, and the outcomes of the election is going to determine what turn or where your life is going from here. So it's very important that when you make your mark today, please think very carefully about what you are doing and realize that you are affecting your own life and that of your loved ones going forward.
All right, and in the past we've heard of the elections being unfair. So what are your thoughts on the elections thus far, and are they free and fair so far?
At the moment, it's difficult to tell if an election is free and fair, because the IEC has to run the elections, and I think they do their best in terms of being able to do that. Where there's political interference, unfortunately, that's where things go wrong. And that's where we need to be careful. And that's why it's important for political parties to have their ears and eyes on the ground, being able to ensure that the vote is actually running correctly, that ballot papers are not being tampered with, that boxes are not being added to the piles at the end of it. It's very difficult to determine if an election is free and fair, just sitting where I'm sitting at the moment. But there's so many polling stations across the country, and sometimes in certain areas we have a lot of tampering going on. But I think it's important for all of us to be involved and to just be able to see that our votes we're not being cheated out of votes at the voting stations. But I think the IEC tries their best to do their job. Hopefully, it will be a free and fair election today. That's what I'm hopeful for. But we can only tell as the day progresses and see where we have problems on the ground.
That are coming in. Councillor?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, what is your advice to the new councillors that are coming in?
Well, it's a tough job. It's never going to be easy. You're going to be inundated a lot of the time. And unfortunately, because our service delivery from the ruling party has been so poor, it's going to be really, really difficult to be able to serve people, as they would want you to. But just do your best, give your best at all times, and always remember that the people come first and that you are here to serve the people of South Africa. And if you can just remember that, keep that in your mind at all times. You are a servant of the people and you're not here to serve your own agenda. And just do your work to the best of your ability and keep in touch with your voters. Make sure that they know what's going on. And if you can't do something, why you can't. It's important to communicate and keep those communication channels open at all times.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Councillor, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
You are most welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Councillor Susan Stewart for Johannesburg Ward 82, or rather former councillor, and taking us through what it takes to become a ward councillor, what to look for in a ward councillor. And as she mentioned, the people come first. If you are going to be a ward councillor, do make sure that you are there to serve the people. You are the servants of the people. And it will be very difficult if you are serving a community. You need to work in unison with the community, come together and come to an understanding. The councillor is not fully responsible for service delivery. Everyone has a role to play, and the community also needs to be involved. It is 12:17 right now. We will take a break, and when we come back, another crossover with Nafisa on the ground.
Dusi Medical Centre, a retail pharmacy and emergency medical depot. Conveniently situated in the Duzimed Medical Centre, corner Burger and Bosser Street, Pietermaritzburg. We provide safe, affordable and convenient medical facilities, open till 10 p.m. every day of the year. We have a full-house clinic that operates from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., which is run by a qualified sister. The clinic offers immunization, vaccination, wellness, general consultation and more. Call Duzimed Medicine Depot on 033 3421 Duzimed Medicine Depot, your pharmacy of choice.
The following political party advertisement has been paid for by the party concerned.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings be upon all. My name is Imran Musa from the Al Jamaa Party. I am currently a councillor for Ward 9 in Lenasia. Vote Al Jamaa in the coming local elections for us to continue to serve you to the best of our ability. You must have seen the huge impact and felt the difference we are already making in the community. As your beloved councillor Imran Musa of Lenasia, you're most welcome to contact me on 082-805-1368 for any service delivery queries. #I love Lenasia.
Every 60 seconds, a silent pandemic claims the life of a child. Unsafe water is having a devastating global impact on health and livelihoods. Islamic Relief is at the forefront, providing clean and safe water to vulnerable communities around the world. Our tailored approach to sustainable water solutions enable families not just to survive, but to thrive, ensuring they stay healthy and safe. Give water, give life with Islamic Relief.
These days, I'm more health conscious than ever. So tonight it's stir fry for dinner, cooked in healthy Helios pure sunflower cooking oil. Helios is pure sunflower goodness, packed with omega-6. That's good for your heart and is approved as part of the Heart and Stroke Foundation eating plan. Dinner's ready! Helios, pure sunflower cooking oil. A healthy family is a happy one.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world, where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain development company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
Reliable access to clean water could save thousands of lives each day. With proper sanitation and easy access to fresh, clean water, communities can flourish. Our Thirst Relief Appeal provides clean water to communities in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East by building deep wells and providing sustainable water and hygiene solutions. A monthly donation of as little as 700 Rand could build a well for a community in need. That's only 23 Rand a day. Donate today, www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 11 00 573. Penny Appeal, small change, big difference.
He stepped inside his home, he was overwhelmed with fear. An angel came with words from God, things were still unclear. Saying, read, read, but he could not read. Amazing words that he heard. A trembling deep inside his heart, confused by what had occurred. There was only one who could comfort him, to help him see the light, to ease his fears, to reassure, was Khadija, his wife. He said, Zammiluni, Zammiluni, Dathiruni, Dathiruni, a mighty task has come before me. I need you here with me. By my side, by my side. She was a woman of nobility, successful in all her trade. Many wealthy men had asked for her, she turned them all away. But when she saw Muhammad, a shining moon, made peace beyond his soul. It was a light for her, so right for her, her life will now be whole. But she had never seen him so distressed as he was there that day. She would comfort him and hold him tight and chase his doubts away when he said, Zammiluni, Zammiluni, Dathiruni, Dathiruni, a mighty task has come before me. I need you here with me, by my side, by my side, by my side. We look for stories of love in places dark and cold, where we have a guiding light for the whole world to behold. We're so selfish in our ways to the ones we hold so close. Our own pleasure and happiness is what we value most. But she sacrificed all her wealth and everything she had, and he honored her and gave her faith when the times were bad, when times were bad.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity.
We are coming to you live from the Results Operations Centre in the city of Tshwane, and this is where we are going to be stationed for the rest of the week. All our shows and more will be coming to you live from the ROC. So one of our presenters, Zahid Jadwat, is a first-time voter, mashallah, and he casted his vote today. Let's catch up with him and find out more about what to expect from his show a little later on. Assalamu alaikum, Zahid. All right, shukran. So you voted for the first time today. Tell us about it. How was the experience for you?
It was really I know there was a lot of confusion initially, and with regards to the election timetable, when the election would take place. So I was hoping that I would be able to participate in this election, and alhamdulillah, I actually successfully have been able to cast my vote. I went and done that exactly that this morning at around 10 a.m. It was quite easy, quite efficient as well. I must thank the IEC officials and staff at a large school, Jimfushir in Johannesburg, for an amazing opportunity and for allowing me to, in an efficient way. So it was a really fun experience. I really enjoyed it. And I do hope that many other people, South Africans of all ages who are eligible to vote, would go into exactly that.
All right. So, were you excited to cast your vote for the first time? Like, what was going through your mind? Do you already have an idea of who you were going to vote for?
Yeah, I mean, the decision for who I was going to vote, I did weigh a lot of pros and cons, and there's many candidates in this area as well, as just as there is across the country. So there's quite a variety of candidates, but essentially, I think I had to weigh the pros and cons, and until I arrived at the suitable candidate. Of course, everyone's not perfect, but you do look out for the candidate who has a track record in your community, who has been serving the community, one that you can trust to serve your community in the future, and then also in the grand scheme of things, to take the city, in my case, Johannesburg, forward in the next 10 years.
Now, I do believe you will also be at the ROC later this evening. Tell us about what to expect from the show.
Yes, indeed. I will to live broadcast media, as listeners are aware, has been broadcasting since this morning from the Results Operations Centre in Pretoria. So that's actually where all the action is taking place, with regards to vote counting and results and all of that. That is the hub at the moment. And so I think later this evening, I'm actually going to be hosting a show from there, as well, from Salam Media Studio, which has been set up at the ROC. So what the listeners can expect, to kick off the show at around 6:30 this evening, we're going to be speaking to the spokesperson of the IEC, and they're going to basically give us an update on the election progress across the country. I understand that the voting stations close at 9 p.m. tonight. So by the time we are speaking to the spokesperson of IEC, there will still be some time for South Africans to cast their votes. But we're just going to try and get a quick update from the IEC at 6:30 this evening. And then, of course, we're trying to get some reaction from the parties as well, to hear what are their thoughts and perspectives of how today's voting went. So I think so far we've received confirmation from the Democratic Alliance. We're going to be speaking to their leader, John Steenhuisen, and we're also reaching out to other political parties, Action SA, for example, the African National Congress, EFF as well. And then at around 7 p.m., listeners can expect to hear some analysis of this particular election, and that is with Maryam Mkwanda, who is a podcaster as well, and he's a political commentator. So that's at 7 p.m. And then, of course, we're going to be at around 7:30, coalition governance, coalition politics. It's relatively new in South Africa. I mean, it became a thing in 2016, which is it's relatively new to the political landscape of South Africa. So we're going to be looking at the coalitions that occurred, especially in Johannesburg. There was a coalition in Pretoria as well. So we're going to, just assess those coalitions, 2016 until today, and see how those have performed, and get some analysis on that, and see whether that is actually suitable for South Africa moving forward, and what's the likelihood of that actually occurring once again in the aftermath of this election. So we actually have that discussion confirmed this evening at 7:30. We're going to be speaking to Sanusha Naidu, who's also a political analyst, bringing us that analysis right there at 7:30 tonight.
Yes, and that is exactly who should be featured on the show, the political parties as well as political analysts, just to give us a view of what to expect, from everything that has taken place thus far already. And from some of the results that we've seen from the special voters, it's not looking good for some of the bigger parties, but we will be bringing live visuals and feed of the results at the Results Operations Centre during the course of the week. Now, what can you say to those that don't think that voting is important?
I mean, first of all, I do respect the individual for their opinion. They are entitled to hold their opinion. But if I can just try and attempt to enlighten them on the matter, because I know this has it's quite prevalent amongst the youth of South Africa, this engagement, so to say, amongst young South Africans. I know many of my peers as well have indicated that they're not going to be participating in this election because they feel that it's a policy and it's it's a waste of time. In fact, one of them actually went to the extent of saying that they believe that this whole election stuff is silly, quote silly. So I think that's really disheartening to hear people, and I think it just speaks to the fact that young people in South Africa really are disengaged from politics. And we've really got to look at that and see what we can do about that. But I mean, I hope these people will soon awaken to the importance of voting. Many young people seeing this engagement not too good. But I think I urge these people not to reject their right to vote, because Nelson Mandela and his companions and the various institutions which have been trying very hard over the past years to sustain this democracy which we've managed to earn. They didn't make these sacrifices only to have people, the future leaders of our country be apathetic on this very important date. So I think it is our duty, more than our democratic right, it is actually our duty to participate, to cast our vote, and it's our duty to ensure that our democracy is protected and upheld now and forever.
Time, Zahid, and quickly, what time can we expect the show tonight?
So the show tonight, coming to you live from the IEC, would be from 6:30 this evening, going through right up until 8 o'clock this evening as well.
Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much for having me.
Zahid Jadwat, first-time voter, and he will also be broadcasting live here at the IEC ROC at 6:30 p.m. tonight until 8 p.m. speaking to political parties, leaders, hopefully political analysts, etc., as well as the spokesperson from the IEC. So make sure that you tune in from 6:30 p.m. tonight. So we are going to cross over to Nafisa once again, who is on the ground, and hopefully we can get some more first-time voters and hear from them.
Well, welcome back to this side of the line, and we're standing outside Greenside Primary School here in Greenside itself. It's slowly starting to pick up a buzz. Not all of the candidates are here, but the ones that are creating a bit of a hi-fi, encouraging people to vote for their party. Many different types of people walking in to cast their vote. So let's get a little bit of a vibe. There's a resident that belongs to a particular party, but she wanted to actually give us the version of what the party has done for her thus far, so that the rest of you can maybe consider looking at that particular party. So let's take a walk in and see if we can get a hold of her. Well, here with me standing at the DA stand, I have Haley Taylor. Unfortunately, Bridget is not here at the moment. But Haley is one of the residents of Greenside, and the reason she decided to come and represent the DA party here in Greenside Primary School was because she felt that there was many positive things they did for her. So let's get that side of the story. Thank you so much for joining us on Sanam Media today. Tell us a little bit about your experiences within your ward. This is Ward 87, and what it was like being a part of this particular community, having the DA running. Have they helped you overcome your challenges? What sort of things have they done for you to be able to better the quality of your everyday life here in the Greenside area?
Bridget is absolutely phenomenal. So she's worked in our ward for a good few years now. She's hands-on all the time. She communicates with all the residents. She's hands-on sorting out everything from power issues, water issues, infrastructure. And honestly, there's nothing that she actually isn't prepared to help on. And 24/7, she's pretty much available to the residents. If Bridget is any example of what we in First DA runs, I think
let's talk about, many awards. I mean, we visited other wards during the course of this morning and during the course of the day. And there were so many complaining about the taxes. What challenges does Ward 87 have? Because it appears to be that there seems to be some form of proactivism as far as the DA is concerned. Do you still have any challenges that need to be addressed, and how do you think they will be sorted out?
There's all the usual challenges, I think. So things like power, we've got an aging infrastructure in terms of power. Water supply at times is a problem due to the Hurstfield station and surrounds. So all your normal illegal land use on the strip of the Greenside strip, that type of thing is quite problematic, and Bridget is hands-on working with the residents on that as well.
Do you have a community that works together with her? Because our idea now with this election is to create that Ubuntu and make unison, because that's what I think South Africans are all about. And a lot of them have said that yes, the community of intent working with the candidates to be able to create a better community.
Greenside does work closely with Bridget and with the board. We've also got quite a strong residents association, so they're also hands-on. And together, I think we can change a lot of things in the area. It is a very strong community spirit.
Sounds really good. So we wish you guys all the best. Wish you did all the best on our behalf, and we'll have to see which party comes out the best.
Well, holding thumbs for her.
So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
So that was Haley Taylor, a resident of Greenside, and she's been giving us first-hand experience of what it was like for her, having a DA councillor in the area, and what the person has done for them. And of course, as we know, those challenges never stop. And there's a general consensus going around, which I'm tending to pick up from visiting these polling stations. The first one is electricity, and the second one is water. And I hope everyone at the IEC out there is listening to me, because this is something that seriously needs to be addressed by the parties to be able to take it on a higher level, to be able to sort those issues out so that people in all sorts of wards and communities have a better quality of life every single day. So let's take a walk across. We're going to go meet Grant, who's of course representing the ANC.
That is Nafisa on the ground, and she is taking us through the voting at Ward 87 Greenside Primary School. And
It takes too long.
and water are an issue at the moment, but I do see that Nafisa is standing with someone. And Nafisa, take it away.
Who's representing the ANC here in Ward 87. It's starting to get a buzz everywhere. It seems like people are coming out in their numbers to be able to cast their vote. John, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us, as far as this particular ward is concerned, what sort of challenges has this ward faced, and what do you, as the ANC, intend doing with the ward to be able to make it a better, should we say, environment for people?
Well, we're quite lucky. We're very privileged. Really, there aren't nearly the same problems that the majority of wards in the country have. Our focus would be on contributing really to make Joburg more efficient as a city. We would like the Joburg Council to ensure that electricity outages from Eskom are minimized through taking over the local power station, encouraging solar electricity. We'd like to put a focus on gender-based violence and make sure that communities are working closely with the local police stations. We'd like to ensure that the hospitals, Helen Joseph, Baragwana, Sani and Charlotte Mckeke are all functioning optimally, and just do what we can to involve the communities as much as possible, to listen carefully, to take feedback to the councillors, and really make Joburg the city, the non-racial, just, egalitarian city that we all would love it to be.
It's so interesting to see that a person like yourself coming from one particular ward is not just punting on the ward issue itself, but going further than that. And I think that's what it's about. It's creating the unison, support structures within each other, irrespective of the wards we come from, to be able to create should we say, a better, like you said, city, a better Johannesburg, a better South Africa, where people have better quality of life. You know, I think the place that should not be forgotten is also all the townships, because when you drive through there, that's the issue you find.
Yeah, I mean, the real challenge for local authorities in Johannesburg has to be more deprived areas, not just the townships, because I mean, the ANC's actually done very well in the townships over the last 30 years, but now the informal settlements, I mean, we're dealing with a massive influx of immigrants every year. We've got a huge challenge as a metropolitan area, and many cities in the world are looking to Joburg to help solve it.
And I sort of agree with what you're saying, but there was one thing that came up again. It's the electricity issue. It's the water issue. I think this is something that's a general consensus from one board to the other, and this needs to be looked at on a very serious basis. From myself here, we're going to go out here, back to Maryam and the IEC.
Right, Shukran Nafisa for the crossover at Greenside Primary School, Ward 87, water and electricity being a major issue, something that has been reiterated by all the parties that she spoke to. And yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more for you from the IEC ROC. Stay with us. We're going to wrap it up, and
you can with the Al Imdad Foundation's daily Sadaqah program.
All right.
Donate as little as R1 a day for
a bigger table
for each member of your family, up to any specified amount, and receive monthly feedback on where your contributions have made a difference. Visit alimdad.com and download your daily Sadaqah debit order form, or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Kids these days are smart, and when you're competing for their attention against their smartphones, you need to make smart choices, like using Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil in every meal you make. It's naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether you're cooking, frying, or baking, you get the great tasting results that'll get their attention faster than the latest app. And if that doesn't work, change the Wi-Fi password. Sunfoil. Now we're cooking.
Alhamdulillah, we are finally free of riba. But it smells lovely.
Yeah, with Yakina, I managed to stop all the riba, Haju. Ach, this insurance price is going up again.
Oh, we are not free of riba, Babu. You need to stop the insurance.
We have to have insurance, Haju. You know how bad it is with all the crime and the accidents.
Have a little yakin now, Babu.
Yeah, man, I do have a little yakin. But I wish there was a way to leave all these riba insurance companies, man. It's my riba.
Babu, I can't handle this. The stench. It stinks.
Is that my underarms?
No, the riba stinks. Please find a way to stop this riba insurance, Babu.
Leaving riba insurance is easier than you think. Call Amana IFS for all your personal and commercial takaful needs. 0861 786 393. Amana, leave riba for good. Amana IFS is a registered financial services provider.
Africa. As the crisis in Palestine continues, the Africa Muslims Agency teams are on the ground facilitating emergency food and medical assistance to the affected families. Donate 15,000 rand or any amount and help the people of Palestine. Call AMA now on 083-251-9376 or donate online at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
On the 1st of November 2021, Mzansi heads to the polls.
Stay tuned and in touch as Salam Media brings you the latest news and insights on your local government elections, live from various voting stations.
Be sure to exercise your right and vote wisely, because your vote makes a difference.
Remember, your vote is your voice.
This is Salam Media.
I know that you could easily take away everything you've given me, and I try to remember not to take anything for granted, 'cause I know that one day suddenly this will all come to an end. So my last wish is for you to be pleased with me. Allah, ya Allah, guide me all the way to your Jannah. Ya Allah, ya Allah, don't let me go astray, 'cause I need you by my side. I wish to be close to you throughout my life. Ya Allah, Allah, be with me all the way. I know that sometimes I do forget that my next breath could be the last. Forgive me, 'cause I can't thank you enough. Forgive me when I doubt your love. Now I pray for that day when all this stops and comes to an end. So my last wish is for you to be pleased with me. Allah, ya Allah, guide me all the way to your Jannah. Ya Allah, ya Allah, don't let me go astray, 'cause I need you by my side. I wish to be close to you throughout my life. Ya Allah, Allah, be with me all the way. Day by day passes, and I think that my time could be near. So I pray, oh God, let this world
Salam Media, a
Does
global
Ibrahim know that he
voice
must
for
go down?
humanity.
We are coming to you live from the ROC in Pretoria, and joining me on the line is Irfan Manjra, who is an activist at the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, to talk a little bit about the importance of voting amongst the youth. Assalamu alaikum, Irfan, and shukran for joining me.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much for having me. Very excited to be on the program today.
Have you already made your mark for today?
Yeah, I cast my vote earlier this morning, and at the voting station, all things were good. The process was fairly simple and also very quiet, which is not too good of a sign, but I know that my voting station is in a small area, so we didn't expect many people to come out, although the 5 or 6 political party reps were all outside, fully geared up, and apologies, my apologies for that. Yeah, so I have cast my vote, and I have been working with a number of other youth. We have registered 50 young people from our program who are working in 25 different communities as observers, and they have been reporting on different incidences and their experiences on the ground. And I think what's interesting from many of the young people I've interacted with, those that have voted, and why they have voted is because they want to see, service delivery. Many have spoken about the importance of the electoral system. I think I'd reiterate that because these are the issues that young people have grappled with for years now. And being born free or born into democracy, we have seen how little has changed on the ground for many people. And in fact, you have huge rates of GBV, of unemployment with youth, and issues of sports and recreation in communities are a big issue because young people don't have spaces that are safe for them to go out and play or read. There's library issues like the Lehigh Library that's still closed after being built in 2018. So there are many service delivery issues, but also issues of accountability that I think my engagements have raised, that young people are frustrated that, and we're really tired of the fact that, there's only lip service given to people who are corrupt and who steal. And many more are saying they're going out to vote today because they don't want that to happen. And they think that they're voting for people or political parties that will oppose that kind of thing. So far that's been the case. And I think my vote as well was one that was difficult to make. We had lots of political parties on the ballot, but many that I think really haven't been present on the ground, being able to communicate what they stand for effectively. And my vote eventually went to somebody, particularly the ward councillor, who I know has a track record of service, who is ethical, who subscribes to non-racialism, who subscribes to anti-corruption, and who understands the local government system and how it works in comparison to your national government and provincial government, and why it's so important that this particular form of government or election is the closest to the people, and why it's as important for us to be casting that ballot.
Important for the youth to get involved and for the youth to become youth activists and to go out and vote in the numbers.
Person who's registered to go out and cast their ballot, to cast their vote, because young people, we do have the right to complain and activate ourselves post-elections. I think it's a bad narrative to assume that because you don't vote you can't complain. I think we still have to recognize that you have that right to complain, to be part of the democratic process. But beyond that, we have to use the political mechanisms that are there towards effecting change. And if we do not organize and counter the issues and the people who we think are causing the multiple issues in our communities and our municipalities, we then are not really contributing effectively to change. We are merely just effecting small minor change. So I think it's important because we have to realize that the bigger systems at play, and we need to be involved in those systems, whether it's independently or through the political parties. I mean, my own friends who are engaged as candidates in political parties. I've been huge support for them. It's important that we have candidates there who are educated, who have the right skills, who have the right knowledge and leadership practice. And as young people, to make that decision, but make that decision critically, not based on just emotion, but on who represents what is the plan of action that each of these parties and candidates speak about. Because ultimately we have to hold them to account, and we have to tell them whether or not they are failing at what they're doing, and or push towards removing them should that be the case. So it's important, go out and vote. Young people, if you are listening, if you are registered, please make your voice heard through the ballot box, as well as all the other campaign work and protest work that we engage in.
All right, shukran so much for your time, Irfan, and have a wonderful day. We are quickly going to the floor right now, where we have the acting SG for the ANC, the ruling party right now, Jesse Duarte, who is going to be chatting to us. A good day, Mrs. Duarte, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and good day to you and all your listeners.
Your thoughts on the election so far as the national government?
Well, I can't speak for the national government, but I can speak for the African National Congress and say that we are completely, we're satisfied at the moment with how things are going. Of course, we would like to see more young people come out and vote for the ANC. The future is theirs, and we have selected a number of young candidates who are very competent, and will be able to take us to the next level at local government level. And it's important that people cast their votes to help us to change the manner in which things are run. It doesn't help to sit back and not vote, but complain about what's not going right. Make a difference by voting and by casting your vote for the ANC. We are the only party that will be able to transform the lives of people in this country. Yes, we admit that there have been many things that have gone wrong, but we also know that we have done a great deal as the ANC-led government. And we're hoping that people will come out and vote for the ANC because that is the party that will make a difference.
I mean, there are so many people who have chosen not to register to vote, and that's, well, they are not going to be voting.
Registering to vote is a cop-out, frankly speaking. It says that somebody else must make the decision on my behalf. While I maybe have an access to radio stations and I can voice my complaints and views in that way, I don't need to vote. It is important in a democracy to cast your vote so that it has an impact. And when people don't vote, all they do is they slant the way in which things should go. And we're really encouraging people, look, it's no use us talking to people who haven't registered to vote now, but we certainly are willing to engage with people who haven't registered to vote for the coming elections and for the future. Our perspective is to engage and to talk to people very directly, as we've done in all the elections. But in this particular campaign, we've done even more so. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. That was the acting Secretary General of the ruling party, the African National Congress, Jesse Duarte, telling us the importance of voting and why young people should go out and vote in their numbers. We are coming to you live from the Results Operations Centre in Pretoria, the city of Tshwane, and there's lots of activities going to be happening from later on tonight, especially after the votings have been closed at 9 p.m. And you can get some more information when you watch the show, and Zahid Jadwat will be here from 6:30 p.m. to 8, interviewing all the necessary people, and hopefully we can hear some more from the political parties as well as the chairperson and the spokespersons of the IEC. It is 1 p.m. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media, and it's time for me to go, but I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, right here, bringing to you the results, bringing to you all the action live. So make sure that you stay tuned to Salam Media. From myself, Maryam Mkwanda, and the team, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Every weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. on Salam Media.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam.